guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christian. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, good day. Wherever you are, whenever you are seeing this, I hope you are good. So guys, today we're going to be talking about finally choosing discipline and happiness and what that journey looks like. I feel like this might be a little bit similar. I feel like every video I've been doing lately, I feel like it's similar to something else that I've done or something else that I've talked about, but I've just been getting more and more downloads about specific things that we can do to be more disciplined, to really choose happiness, what that means as a whole, and the simplicity, but also how big it is to choose happiness. You know, it's such a simple decision, but it really can change your life. You guys can check down below in the description box to book sessions with me, shop my crochet pieces, get your self-led tarot course. If you have a goal of learning tarot for the new year, definitely get into the self-led tarot course. My releasing sessions are still available and they have been so incredibly powerful. There is a 90-minute releasing session that you can do with me and an hour releasing session that you can do with me as well. Both of these sessions include readings where we get downloads, we tap into what you have going on. And also guys, it's not mandatory for me to use tarot cards in my readings anymore. So it's totally up to you guys. If you've been wanting to work with me, but you're just not a fan of tarot, you can definitely book a session or a reading with me. And we don't have to use any cards. You know, I can just get into the downloads that come up for you and we can navigate the session that way. So if you guys want to book with me, release with me, tarot class, whatever the case may be, check down below in the description, shop with me, get into it. But yeah, let's go ahead and get right into this video. Again, I hope you guys have been feeling great and you've been embracing the energies of the new year. I'm currently on a 21-day fast, and when I'm finished it, I'm going to let you guys know everything I've experienced and how it's been for me. I'm also reading through Sacred Woman, and when I'm finished Sacred Woman, I'm going to do a full YouTube video of an overview of the entire book. I do not think that I'm going to read Sacred Woman in the book club anymore. I know I always say that I do, but I just lose too many people along the way. It's a very, very hard read, I understand. So I'm going to do an overview video on YouTube, and if you want to read Sacred Woman with me as a guide, then you can refer to that YouTube video that I'm going to be doing. But yeah, that's basically just a little tea about what's going on right now. Also something else that I'm doing, I recently started offering content creation services. So if you are a content creator and you don't know how to use Canva, you don't know how to organize stuff, you don't know what to post, you need to organize your content ideas, then hit me up. You can shoot me an email or you can go to the community tab. You'll see a little bit more information about it, but still email me to get into it. It's a new service that I'm doing. I'm only taking a couple of clients right now. So if you're interested, then let me know and we can work together. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the video, guys. So something that I've recently learned, I'm just going to give you guys a little tidbit, a small tidbit of something that I've recently learned on the fast. So I'm currently on day 4 of my fast. I haven't even hit a full week yet, and I've already seen a lot of things. I'm already learning a lot of things. It's crazy. Well, not crazy. That's literally the point of a fast, to open your mind, right? So I've always had a really hard time connecting with people, you know, loving people as they are, to be honest, feeling like people are giving me what I need, you know, like for me, if I'm in a friendship with someone that isn't doing what they need to be their best self, I'm not going to be comfortable in that friendship, you know, because I'm not going to feel like I can relax around them. Like, because of who I am as a healer, I can't have people in my life that aren't taking care of themselves, because when I'm around them, I'm going to be feeling that. I'm going to be feeling like I'm walking on eggshells, not wanting to bring up certain topics that might trigger them or make them feel some type of way. You know, it's just hard dealing with people that are not actively working on their healing journey. Actively working on their healing journey. I don't mean somebody that knows all of their problems. I mean somebody that knows their problems and is seeing a therapist, seeing a spiritual counselor, working to make it better, going to church, doing something to tend to their, you know, emotions. That's difficult. It's hard. And I've been having a lot of back and forth with myself on this. Like, am I too hard on my friends? Am I too picky about what I'm looking for? Why do I feel like I connect with people and then I don't know, like there's just always something. Like, it's difficult for me to really deeply connect with someone on a certain level, or sometimes I deeply connect with someone and I realize, oh wait, this person isn't doing the work. This person isn't who I thought they were, you know? This leaves me being very underwhelmed, very disappointed, very underfulfilled when it comes to connections. Like, people might love me and I might add a lot to their life, but I don't feel like they add a lot to my life, because you can't really pour into me unless you're taking care of yourself. Even if you are the type of person that's very, very giving, if you're giving to the point where you are in a lot of codependent relationships, if you're giving to the point where you don't know how to say no, that's not even the type of giving that I want. I don't even have a use for that type of giving, you know? So it's difficult for me to connect with people and find people that are really, you know, about the business. And I've always been like, why is that so hard for me? And I realized that one of my special gifts is that I can see people's highest self. Everybody I've ever met, I have a vision of their higher self in my head. So I'm comparing people to their highest self. I'm not comparing you to who you were when I first met you, how you've grown over the time we've been in each other's lives. I'm comparing you to the best version of you. So because of that, I'm always going to be underwhelmed or disappointed, you know? And I don't think, well, not always, because I am connected with certain people. I do have certain friends in my life where friendship with them is a breeze, you know. It's so easy and so effortless because they are taking care of themselves, you know. And everybody isn't taking care of themselves. A lot of people are looking for relationships to do it. They're looking for money to do it. They're looking for you to do it as a friend. And if people just choose happiness, I think people will be way closer to their higher self than they think. I think when you choose happiness, it leads to discipline. I think when you choose happiness, it leads to self-love. It leads to understanding. It leads to self-esteem. It leads to self-awareness. It leads to a deeper connection with self. It leads to you being kinder to people, you sharing love with people, you pouring into people more freely. You know, it leads to you walking happier and always finding points of happiness no matter what you're faced with. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people choose struggle. And the gag is choosing happiness is a struggle. A lot of times when you choose happiness, it means cutting off friends, you know, being really, really dedicated and changing your lifestyle so you can maybe feel better physically. It might mean, you know, quitting your current path or quitting school, quitting your current job and doing something different. It might mean giving up on a project because the people that you were involved with in that project weren't putting in any effort and it was stressing you out more than it was helping you. It might mean saying, you know what, I'm not going to do this. Instead, I'm going to do this, you know. It might mean that. And that can be hard to accept. It can be frustrating, but the discipline that you can have, I feel that discipline makes the choice of choosing happiness more supportive. When you know that you are not dedicated to a new beginning, a fresh start, when you know that you don't have what it takes to be disciplined, and to be honest, nobody doesn't have what it takes to be disciplined. Anybody could be disciplined if they want to, but we believe these things that we tell ourselves. So you might really think that you're not a disciplined person. You might really think that you'll never be able to go to the gym. You'll never be able to lose the weight. You'll never be able to start the business. You'll never be able to, you know, go to therapy, repair the relationships, heal, release the grudges. You might feel like there are certain things that you will never be able to do. But God didn't tell you that. You made yourself believe that, you know, and that's not choosing happiness. That is choosing distraction. That is choosing to be distracted by the relationships, the job, the money, the next goal, without ever really choosing happiness for yourself, you know? Choosing happiness means different for everybody. It looks different in every situation. But I think if everybody chose happiness, we will be a lot happier, you know? And of course that's, you know, obvious, but I think we will be able to connect with our higher self a little bit better. Your higher self is not perfect. Your higher self is not a perfect version of you. Your higher self is you having healed the things that you need to heal. And healing is an ongoing journey, but I feel you can be healed with an ED, like past tense. I think you can conquer healing whenever you realize it's an ongoing journey and whenever you commit to that. When you are committed to the ongoing, lifelong journey of healing, you're healed. You're healed. Anything that comes into your path, you know how to deal with it. You're going to handle it. Even if it knocks you off, you're not going to stay down. You're going to get back up and get it together. You're healed. You're healed. You figured it out. You figured it out. All you have to figure out in this life to be healed is that what you want, you can have. The things that happened to you in your past, they weren't personal. It wasn't happening to you because you're a bad person. You are not the mistakes that you've made. You are not the mistakes that other people have made towards you. Those things don't define you. You know, it looks like understanding that no matter what you experience, you are still a child of God. No matter what mistakes you make, God still loves you. You still have an opportunity to turn that no into a yes, to turn that mistake into a lesson that elevates you for the next win. Hello, you know, when you feel like that, you're healed. You're healed because it doesn't matter what comes in your path. You're prepared to deal with it. You're prepared to deal with it, you know? When you feel like you're only okay when certain things are going on, you're not healed. You're probably not even really healing, to be honest. Because the healing journey is being okay, being uncomfortable, being unsure, being frustrated. That's why it's so important to choose happiness, because you can choose happiness in a point of confusion and choose to be happy that you're even trying to figure it out. I always tell people, I'm trying to stop cursing in my videos. I always tell people, because I work with a lot of people who want so desperately to heal. Like, they have so much guilt and shame. They want to be the best version of themselves so bad. I tell them the reason that you know you're a good person is that you're so hard on yourself to be a good person. Bad people don't care about being a good person. Sociopaths, narcissists, psychopaths, people that want to gaslight you, take advantage of you, they don't care about being a good person. The fact that you are so preoccupied with being a good person lets you know that you're a good person. You just have to release the anxiety that says, if you make a mistake, you're a bad person. If you take a moment to focus on yourself, you're a bad person. If you take a moment to put yourself first, you're a bad person. You just have to release the anxiety and the fear of being a bad person. Choosing yourself doesn't make you a bad person, you know? And I think that we kind of end up on this never-ending loop of never really being satisfied, never really feeling confident, never really feeling like we can trust ourselves or believe in ourselves, because we're always going from one point to the next point, from one point to the next point, without really choosing happiness. We're just letting life bring happiness to us. You let life bring you the job when it wants. You let life bring you the person when it wants. You let life give you a good day when you need a good day. But what about choosing to have a good day every day? Whether it's rain, sleet, snow, whether you're good, whether bills are past due, whether you're happy, whether you just got dumped, what if you choose to find happiness in every day? I guarantee you your frequency will rise. We don't even talk about raising people's frequencies anymore. When have y'all heard somebody, when was the last time you heard somebody say, do this to raise your vibration, do this to raise your frequency? People don't even talk about that shit anymore. So that's why you cannot just trust the social media, spiritual journey crew. Like, you cannot trust the trends of social media and spirituality to help you on your journey. People don't even talk about raising your frequency anymore. People don't even talk about that anymore. And that is the main point of your spiritual journey, to raise your frequency so you can be on a frequency of healing. When you're feeling angry, frustrated, jealous, vengeful, rage, you can't see the other side of a situation. You can't take yourself out of it and look at it objectively and understand where somebody was coming from when they hurt you. You can't think from a point of healing when all you're feeling is pain, you know? So we have to be very, very careful about that. Everybody was always talking about manifestation, right? Manifestation. That was a trendy thing. Twin flames was a trendy thing. Meet your twin flame. Love spells was trendy. Working with crystals was trendy. Sage and Palo Santo was trending at one point. Like, we've come across all of these different trends and all these different moments in spirituality, and it's easy to just pick up certain things and use them, and pick up certain things and use them, because you're not choosing happiness for yourself. You're letting the world tell you, this will help you, this will help you, this will help you, and maybe you'll try it, but when you feel like it's not helping, you dump it instead of choosing happiness. You can choose, like, maybe I'm not in the right mindset to do this right now. I'm going to choose happiness by giving myself a day off and do things that I enjoy. You know, when I'm really, really anxious, I can sit in the bed and be anxious all day. I remember being in spaces of fight or flight for days and days on end, where I spent months and months stressing, days and days stressing, not even knowing the last time I took a breath. I can do that. Or I can choose to deal with the same stress and maybe put on Twilight. Maybe put on something that I love. Maybe put on a funny movie. Maybe listen to some gospel music. Maybe do something differently instead of just letting myself sit in what I feel is my circumstance. And that's where that discipline has to come in. You have to choose happiness, but you also have to choose discipline, because discipline is going to keep you choosing happiness no matter what. Your discipline has to be stronger than your flesh. Your flesh will tell you, I don't want to do this. I don't have the energy. It's not the time. But your discipline has to tell you, it's always the time. It doesn't matter if my flesh is weak. It doesn't matter if my flesh is lazy. It doesn't matter if my flesh is sad. My discipline is strong. And the way you build that is by continuously choosing happiness, by building that repetition. You know, people always say, I want to be happy. I want to be happy. I want to be happy, but I don't know how. I'm so this. This always happens. This always happens. Like, I can't tell y'all how many people I work with, or how many messages I get, how many comments I read, and I just be rolling my eyes. Because the reason be in the comment. People will type a comment and be like, I don't know why my life is so terrible. Everything sucks. I suck. My friends suck. I have nobody. Everything around me is miserable. I don't know the last time I was happy. I don't think there's any way out. Everything that you just said is the reason that you feel like that. Everything that you just said is the reason that you feel like that. And I get it. Life fucking sucks. Life has sucked for me more times than I can count. Life sucks. Sometimes life will always suck. Sometimes you'll be in a space where life is perpetually sucking for you. And that's just what's going on. But you can't allow that to be evidence of why your life is so trash. I don't believe my life is supposed to be trash. I don't believe my life is supposed to be bad. I was just thinking, like, I've been in so many bad relationships. I've had so many bad jobs. I've been in so many bad friendships that weren't giving me what I needed. So many poopy friendships. And I could have stayed in all of those spaces if I felt like my life was already bad. If you already think that life is supposed to be miserable, life is supposed to be hard, life is supposed to suck, and you come across obstacles, all those obstacles are going to do, you're going to be like, oh, exhibit A, why my life sucks. Exhibit A, why my life sucks. Exhibit A. You're just going to see all of the problems as more and more evidence to you why you don't deserve X, Y, and Z, why you'll never get X, Y, and Z, why this is the only thing you're ever going to have. Like, for example, if somebody keeps dating people that cheat on them, or they keep dating people that don't do them right, you could feel like, okay, every person that you date could be an example that's reinforcing your belief that you'll never find the right kind of love, that you'll never be happy, that you'll never be able to trust somebody, that people are always going to do you dirty. Or you can use that as evidence to see, maybe I'm looking for people for the wrong reason. Maybe I need to choose happiness and be by myself. Maybe I need to choose happiness and do something different. Sometimes choosing happiness just means taking your hands off everything and just saying, you know what, let me pray. Let me ask God, what am I supposed to be doing right now? What is next for me? If you ask God for an answer, you will get it. Some of y'all don't have answers because you don't even be asking God for the answers. If you ask God for answers, God will send you the answers. They may not come when you want them, but they will be on time. And they will come when you're ready to receive them. Some of y'all ask questions and you have vengeance in your heart. You have pain in your heart. You don't even want to hear the answer. If God sends you the answer, you're like, no. Like, how many of us have been in a bad relationship and we said, God, let me see if this person is for me. And you saw that they weren't for you. And you were like, no. And you stayed, or you tried to explain it, you know. We all have been in situations where we truly felt that our life was supposed to be bad. And we felt like it makes sense that people don't like me because I'm this. It makes sense that, you know, I can't find a good job because I am this. Versus being like, this doesn't make sense to me. That's one thing I can always say. No matter what I've dealt with, I always felt like I was supposed to be happy. I always felt like I was destined to be happy. I always felt like God would not put me here to be miserable. Some of us don't feel that. Some of us feel like God put us here to be small, to be insignificant, to be used for everybody else. That is a crock of S. That's a joke. That's not true. As a healer, you need to connect with other healers. As someone that is weak-spirited, you need to connect with God. You need to connect with God. If you are weak in spirit, then you need to connect with God. You need to get in touch with your spiritual beliefs. You need to read whatever book you need to read. You need to talk to whoever you need to talk to. You need to see whoever you need to see. You need to get your mind right first. Because when your mind is on a program to only show you the problems, you're only going to see the problems. Like, imagine if you have like some futuristic glasses and they, as you looked around everything, they just pointed out the problem. Like, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem. Imagine you had those glasses on. The opposite of the rose-colored glasses. Now imagine how life feels when you have those rose-colored glasses on and you only see the good. You only see the good. We've been burned so many times for being optimistic. We feel like the only answer to safety is pessimism. When the answer really is just acceptance, total acceptance of whatever comes your way, whether it's good or bad, stressful, frustrating, confusing or not, like accepting it no matter what, having faith that no matter what, you are where you need to be, you know? Choosing happiness and being disciplined enough to choose it every single day. Seriously. Like I've been saying, I think this can be the year of big change. This can be the year of big evolution. This can be the year where we do things differently. We feel differently. If you want to feel differently about life, to feel differently about love, to feel differently about yourself, to release things that you never thought you could release, to forgive your parents, to make peace, to believe in yourself, to trust yourself, to look at yourself in the mirror and love who you are, you have to choose happiness and you have to choose discipline as well. I would definitely recommend starting to have conversations with yourself in the mirror on a regular basis, every day if you can, but on a regular basis at least. Just telling yourself like, I love you. What do you need? You know, where can you choose happiness? What is making you happy? What makes you happy? Think about the last time that you were happy. Why were you happy? Find ways that you can cultivate happiness in your life every single day. Whether that's watching a movie, eating one of your favorite foods, talking to somebody, you know, that you love, you know, find things that you can do so you can really truthfully choose happiness, consciously choose happiness instead of just waiting on life to bring it to you, you know, This is not the year to wait on life to bring you the love of your life, the happiness of your life. This is the year to say, you know what, I'm ready for it. I'm ready. So I'm walking in it. I'm feeling it. I'm vibing with it. And no matter how long it takes, you have to choose happiness. And you kind of have to be irrationally optimistic. That's low-key what faith is, irrational optimism. Like I have faith that I'm going to find who I'm supposed to find, even though the last few dates haven't worked out. Every time I got my heart broken, you know what I said? I'm one step closer to meeting my person. I'm one step closer. I'm one person closer. Because you're never going to be born and meet your husband, be born and meet your partner. That's not how life is. You're going to go through different things, go through different pain. Like you have to learn how to be in a relationship through being in relationships. And they're not always going to work out. So I learned in high school, literally, well, I'm one step closer to finding the person that I'm supposed to be with, but we don't always feel like that. We feel like we have to settle. We feel like we have to accept what's ever put in front of us. We feel like it just is what it is, no matter what. We let our stubbornness get the best of us. We let our ego get the best of us. We don't want to be embarrassed. So we stay with somebody, even though they don't hurt us. We stay with them so we can hurt them back. So we don't leave with our tail between our legs. The best thing that you can do sometimes in a situation is let somebody think that you are a PUSSY. And I hate for somebody to think that about me. Oh, I hate it because that is not the farthest thing from me. I love confrontation. I love a problem. I love an issue. I really do not care. I'll argue with anybody. I'll argue anybody down to the ground. That's a Leo. You don't want to argue with a Leo, honey. But I've had to choose happiness in a lot of situations. And that means literally turning the other cheek or walking away. Not even speaking my piece, not even responding with the rah-rah, not even going there. When somebody goes low, you have to go high. When life takes you low, you have to go high. And we have a culture now that says when you go low, I'm going to hell. But do you know that when you really truly believe when somebody goes low, you're going to take it lower? That's how you feel about life. That's how you approach life. When life gets bad, you're going to make it even worse. When you get fired from your job, you're going to call your ex and go sleep with somebody that you know you're not supposed to sleep with. When you lose your ex, you're going to go out and drink and one up your sadness. When you're the person that turns the other cheek, when you're the person that doesn't respond to drama, when you're the person that chooses happiness, you can do it in your real life. There's nothing cute, there's nothing big and bold about being your own bully or being your own enemy or being your own cultivator of darkness. We have so many things that will cultivate darkness in our lives. Just being on earth will cultivate darkness in your life. Being on earth will cultivate depression, anxiety. Being alive in this capitalist society will make you fucking miserable. Seeing what's happening in other places in the world when you're complaining and you have running water and a roof over your head, but you're also living in a space where you're being abused. Should I be grateful or should I, acknowledge my struggle as well? Because no person's struggle is greater than the other. Life will mess up your head. Life will get you confused. Like the enemy is tricky. The enemy is a trickster. He comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. Like there is no reason for you to want to one up the terrible things that happen in your life. Like that's evil. Like people talk about evil and dark shit. That's dark. That's evil. When you have one bad thing happen and you ready to one it up with something else because that's just how you coming. Girl, go to therapy. Go to therapy, sweetie. We need to choose happiness. Our ego will not let us choose happiness. Not wanting to be a disappointment, not wanting to be an embarrassment will make you never choose happiness. Not wanting to be guilty. Feeling guilt is something that your ego doesn't want because your ego doesn't ever want to be wrong. So when you're doing things because you don't want to feel guilty, you're really pleasing your ego. Because what's the opposite of being guilty? Being innocent, being pure, being right. So if somebody makes you feel guilty for telling them no, you're going to continuously tell them yes, so you don't feel guilty. Of course, they're making you feel bad, but it's also your ego that wants you to feel like a good friend. It's your ego that is also getting satisfaction because you feel bad when people point at you and call you names. You feel bad when somebody says, I don't want to be around you anymore because you feel like you don't want to be around me? Me? What did I do? It always goes back to choosing darkness. Like we've seen so many people saying, we've heard so many times, it's either light or dark. You're either going to be leaning into the darkness or leaning into the light. And that's very true. And if you don't choose happiness, what do you think you're choosing? You're constantly and consciously choosing pain, choosing frustration. And I understand being mad at life. I understand that. But you want to be real careful about that because being mad at life can turn into being mad at God. It can turn into being mad at your future, being mad at yourself, being mad that you're even here. It can turn into seeing frustration all around you, seeing struggle all around you. We know people that walk around in life with baggage on their shoulders, and they're nasty and they're disrespectful and they're confrontational to people just off rip. Like, we know people that are so hot-tempered and short-tempered, anything can set them off. Anything will make them be ready to go to hell with you. If they think you're going even an inch lower, they're going to go to hell immediately. They ready for it. That's not healthy. That's not healthy. It's mental illness. Okay, it's mental illness. And I hope that we are able to see that this year. And I hope that we're able to understand the power of choosing happiness, that is backed by discipline. When you are disciplined in choosing your happiness, you can never fail, because even when you do fail, it won't feel like a failure, because you know that you're one step closer to your win. And that's the most important thing, having that knowledge and really, really believing it, having faith in it. And in terms of just tapping into discipline, can't nobody make you do nothing. Can't nobody make you believe anything. You have to know that it's time to get your life together. And eventually you'll get sick and tired. It might be when you're 50. It might be when you're 60. Who knows? But eventually you'll get sick and tired, and eventually you'll want things to be different, and I've been there, just kind of being on autopilot, doing my life one way to please everybody, and being like, everything that I'm doing is something I don't want to do. I've been in spaces in my life where I didn't do anything that I wanted. I didn't dress how I wanted. I didn't speak how I wanted. I wasn't confident how I wanted. Like, I was who everybody wanted me to be. And then when I stopped being who everybody wanted me to be, I had to deal with everybody not liking me anymore. Then I had to deal with, well, now who am I? Then I had to deal with becoming different versions of me that wasn't really me. I had to deal with all of that to find myself. It's a journey, and it's not easy. And choosing happiness when you've chosen something else for your entire life is going to be a change. It's going to be a big, big change, but it's going to be the change that will change your life. It's going to be the change that will set you up for your new beginning, and I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. I deal with a lot of the same problems. I deal with being disappointed in people. I deal with being disappointed in myself. I deal with feeling underfulfilled. I deal with feeling like I need more. I deal with feeling impatient. I deal with feeling like maybe this won't ever work out. Maybe this won't ever work out, But those thoughts are so small. Those thoughts have no power in my head. There are thoughts that are in my head, but they have no power. The thoughts that are more powerful are my faith, are my hope, are my vision, what I know, because what God tells you is truth, what you believe about the world, and sometimes what you tell yourself is not. The truth is that God got me. The truth is that, even in the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear nothing. I will fear no evil, for God is with me. That's a bar. That's a bar. Seriously, even in the darkest places, I have nothing to fear. And I choose to put my faith in that. And whatever that looks like for you, find something, because you have to have something that anchors you to your truth, which is life is not as bad as we think it is. It is bad, but it's not as bad as we think it is. There are moments of happiness in life. There are moments of change. There are moments of evolution. All of us would not be here if it weren't for nothing. Every human that's here has a very, very, very big role to play. You are just as important as the president, as the Dalai Lama, as, fucking Nelson Mandela. You are important. You are valuable. You are changing lives. You are making waves. You are not insignificant. If you were insignificant, you would not be here. If you didn't matter, you would not be here. The fact that you are here says enough. So trust in that and believe that, and, allow this year to be the first time that you consciously choose happiness. When somebody makes you mad, choose happiness. Just start by saying, I choose happiness. Just start by saying, I choose happiness. You might not understand what it means. It might not even feel right to you, but start saying that. And you'll realize what that means in every situation. Like I said, it might mean that you might take a break. It might mean that you might reflect on the past. It might mean that you might second guess, maybe I need to rearrange this or rearrange this. You're going to find your way to happiness that works for you. But that definitely should be the goal. So yes, guys, that is a spiel about choosing happiness and the benefit of choosing happiness that is backed by discipline. So I hope that you guys are feeling good about everything that's to come. I hope that you guys are feeling confident in yourself. I hope you're feeling self-assured. I hope you're feeling ready for everything that we're about to step into. But yes, I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. I thank you guys for being here, and I will see you guys next time. Make sure you check out the description box to book with me, shop with me, connect with me, get some content if you need some. Okay, get into it. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, and I'm gonna see you guys next time. Bye, guys. Bless.